What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm Rob from PT.3 Performance, and this is part 3 of the 500 horsepower capable engine for $1,500. Now, I'm sorry about all the noise here in the background. Even though it's almost the end of October, it's still hot as fuck here in Texas, so all the fans are running. And to make matters worse, they're redoing the parking lot outside here, so they got a dozer out there and a steamroller and all that shit. So anyways, as you see, you got the engine back in Lucy here. I didn't film any of that. If you guys are interested in how I do it, it's actually a pretty easy way to do it with one person. I can do that in another video, and that could be another series. But also too, when I wired the data logger in this thing, I kind of thrashed it in there so I could get it in there so I could start getting data with some of the stuff that I've been looking at and testing. So I had to go back and redo some of the wiring after I got the engine out, just to make it, well, of course I did the wiring with the engine in, but I found it passed through in a couple weird spots when I had the engine out, so I went and rerouted some stuff so it makes it easier for the engine to come out, and I don't have to worry about, breaking wires or anything like that. So I didn't film any of that. But it's full of oil. It's full of just water. Something like this, I don't run antifreeze in it. Plus, it really doesn't get cold enough down here. So just run water in it safer, especially if I take it to the track and pop the head gasket or whatever, which is very highly likely, being that it's stock compression. So just run water in it, it'll be fine. What else? I put 2 gallons of VP X98 in there. I'm not gonna mess around with the pump fuel or anything like that. Just gonna come right out of the gate swinging and just turn the boost up. And while we're talking about boost, so I've been running this thing. I sell ECU-based boost controllers. They're available on my website, PT.3Performance.com. If you're the kind of guy that, if you're halfway decent at tuning the stock ECUs by yourself, it's very much plug and play, and it's real easy to use in the software. But the problem I'm foreseeing is because it works off of manifold pressure, meaning it uses you need to make boost in order for the boost controller to actually start regulating it, because it uses the top part of the wastegate to regulate the boost, because that's how the stock ECU works with that particular type of boost control strategy. Working with dome pressure, I don't think it'll allow me to turn the boost up high enough to get where we need to go. I said before, I think we only need to get to maybe like 16 pounds to get 500 horsepower. I know I'm kind of jumping around a bit, but I want to finish a point. I don't know if I made it earlier when I was talking about the AMS 2000, but because I have onboard air, you can use manifold pressure with the AMS 2000s, and they work good, but they work a lot better if you run CO2 or pressurized air to them. So seeing as I already have the pressurized air, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on there. Also, I love, if you've seen some of my other videos, putting down over 400 horsepower on the street using boost by speed. So I don't have ABS sensors on this bike yet. I have everything on the bike to do it. I just need to drill the wheels and put the reluctor wheel in there. But in the meantime, I've gotten away with using the factory speed sensor, and it works good. The only thing is if you get to a point, if you're going down the track or going down the road and you're in it, and you hit a dip in the road and it unloads the suspension to where it spins, Well, if you're doing boost by speed and you see the wheel speed jump up, instead of just, you know, hazing the tire or blowing it off a little bit, if you're not at the top of the boost ramp based on your mile an hour, it blazes the tire off. So that's the only downfall to using boost by speed off of the driven wheel. With using the boost control through the factory ECU, you have to use a 4-pound spring, and in some turbo kits that's even a little light, so sometimes you have to cut the spring a little bit. But what happens is, because it uses duty cycle to control the boost, if the spring is too heavy, the boost will actually start surging, because the wastegate's trying to regulate the boost. So that's another reason why I'm thinking that I'm not going to be able to get away with the factory ECU boost control, getting up to around 16, 18 pounds, whatever it takes to hit our goal. Just because I think I'd have to put a bigger spring in there. And if I put a bigger spring in there, the boost is going to surge. Whereas with the AMS 2000, it's just going to give us a nice flat boost table, really. And it'll bring the power in sooner. So that's always good. So with all that said, we're gonna go ahead, get this thing in its first startup. Like I said, I already got fuel, oil, and water in it. I got my laptop down here connected to the data logger, so we can see the fuel pressure, oil pressure, and all that stuff. And we'll go ahead and squeeze the trigger here on the bike and see if it starts, see how it sounds. So let's check it out. Well, there we have it, guys. The first start. Actually really surprised it started up. I knew I had the same tune in it that I was riding around the street on this fuel, so I wasn't too surprised that it started up right away. Normally you gotta crank it a couple times in the first startup, but I did run the fuel pump a few times because I put a switch in, and I'll show you guys what I did with that later on. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and install the boost controller. I don't know if it's gonna be the end of the video yet or what, but I'm gonna install the boost controller. I did take a data log when I put it on the 2-step, and the TPS signal's reading kind of weird, so I'm gonna look into that. But other than that, everything looks good. No leaks. The smoke cleared up, as you guys kind of saw. I think the oil seal might have gone bad in the turbo. I don't know. if it did, I got a whole bunch of other turbos I can slap on there, same one, just swap out the center section or whatever. I noticed when I took it apart, the exhaust side had a bunch of oil sitting in it, and I noticed that my drain flange was offset, so I thought the oil wasn't draining out of it properly. So I did change the flange, but we'll try it out later and see if it still smokes. But until then, like I said, I don't know if this is the end. I don't know what else I'm going to film, but I am going to put the boost controller on and try to get that set up. So I'd like to actually get out there and start riding this thing. So see you guys soon.